the face of January 6, 2021, and was the very first person indicted for the events of that day. And now he's planning a run for Congress and will join me in just a moment. Jacob Angeli Chansley. He wore red, white, and blue face paint and a flurry headdress with horns. He carried a bullhorn and an American flag and a spear. He stood at the Senate dais that had recently been occupied by then Vice President Mike Pence, left a note that read, "It's only a matter of time, justice is coming," and calling Pence an effing traitor. He was known as the QAnon Shaman. He was arrested and held without bail. His attorney asked then President Trump for a pardon, didn't get it. That September, he pleaded guilty to a felony charge of obstructing an official proceeding. He was sentenced to 41 months in prison. During his sentencing hearing, Chansley said that he was truly repentant for his actions. In March, after serving more than 2 years, he was moved to a halfway house, and he was then released on May 25th, and last week filed a candidate statement of interest paperwork to run as a Libertarian candidate in Arizona's 8th Congressional District in 2024. Jacob Angeli Chansley joins me now. Mr. Chansley, thanks so much for being here. I was really interested in your sentencing hearing. There was a lot of information that was provided there, at which, and I'll put this on the screen and show it to the audience, you took full responsibility. You said, "Men of honor admit when they're wrong, not just publicly, but to themselves. I would like to use this as an opportunity to admit to your honor, to the prosecution, to the nation. I was wrong for entering the Capitol. I have no excuse whatsoever. The behavior is indefensible." That was before you did the time. How do you feel today?
There's no defense for breaking the law unless it's an unjust law, and there are unjust laws just as there are unjust men.
Okay, but what you said at the sentencing hearing still holds. You've got no excuse, you recognize you broke the law, and you regret it.
Well, I recognize I broke the law. I did my time. Whether or not the sentence was, fitting of the quote-unquote crime is a matter of opinion, but I am better because I chose to take responsibility. I chose to invest my time wisely. I educated myself. I taught a metaphysics class while I was in prison. I also helped people in the RDAP, Residential Drug Abuse Program, get over their addictions. I read a lot of books. I worked out a lot. I invested in self-improvement.
In the course of the sentencing hearing, you also said that, and I'll put this on the screen, that you wish you could do it all differently. Quote, "In all honesty, I would do everything differently." What would you do differently on January 6th if you could wind back the clock?
Well, I would do everything that I could in a more intense way to stop everything from happening in the first place. Now, how easy that would be considering that tear gas and concussion grenades were tossed in the middle of a otherwise peaceful crowd is, nothing I can predict right now or try and say it would go one way or the other, but I would definitely try to stop the whole thing from happening, considering the persecution that a lot of J6ers have gone through and the destruction that was caused to the sacred chamber that we call the Capitol. So, for me, what it's about is stopping anything negative from happening, and that's definitely what I would do.
Okay, I guess I'm waiting to hear if you'll also say, given that you hope to be employed in those buildings, I would not breach the Capitol. I would never have broken into the building.
Well, considering that I would try to stop everything from happening, I think that's a given.
Okay, I don't want to play a word game. Why not just say I wouldn't trespass? I wouldn't trespass that. You pardon me?
Because I did not break into the building. I walked through open doors. And if you look at it, the truth of what happened when I went in is antithetical to the Mockingbird media's narrative. I stopped somebody from stealing. I volunteered to help the police. That's why they were escorting me around the building. And, I said a prayer as soon as I exited the building. Shortly thereafter, I stopped people from breaking in and told everybody to go home. I was doing everything I could to be a peacekeeper inside that building.
Okay, but let's agree on this. Maybe you should never have been in the building to begin with.
Okay, well, there's a lot of people in Congress that probably shouldn't be in there.
This is not sounding so repentant. I'm gonna skip ahead to something the judge said about you that I was really taken with. As I say, I spent a lot of time reading your file and was taken with the sentencing hearing. This is Judge Lamberth. First of all, I thank you for your comments. I think yesterday I celebrated my 34th year as a judge. I think your remarks are the most remarkable I've heard in 34 years. I think you are genuine in your remorse and heartfelt. He then said that the words that you said to him were akin to things that Martin Luther King would have said. So I guess my question is, are you remorseful? Because now I'm kind of questioning whether you're remorseful.
Well, with all due respect, I don't care if you're questioning whether or not I'm remorseful. I've made it very clear on several occasions I should not have broken the law. Now, the fact of the matter is, we can regret things in life. We can have remorse. We can have, all sorts of resentment and stuff if we choose. But those things are far too heavy burdens to move forward in our lives. And I'm moving forward, not just for myself, but for the American people, because there is no representation for the American people in Congress. That's why I'm running on single bill voting. That's why I'm running on a term limit amendment for congressmen and staff. That's why I'm running on criminality lobbying. That's why I'm running on. That's why I'm running on 7.
Jacob, I was looking forward to talking about your platform. I thought we were going to very quickly, given what you said at your sentencing hearing, hear from you. Man, I really regret it. I should never have been in that building to begin with. I'm a different person. I'm remorseful, but I'm not hearing that. I just showed footage of the doors being kicked in, and then you walked in with a group of people. And it sounds like you're not even taking ownership that you never should have walked through that door.
Didn't I say I broke the law and I shouldn't have done that? So, like I said, there's no representation for the American people in Congress. That's why I'm running. That's why I said that there's some people in Congress that probably shouldn't be in there either, because they're not representing the American people. They're representing the non-government organizations, special interest groups, international corporations, and international banks. And that's part of the reason why I think it's so important.
Do you want Donald Trump's endorsement?
I will take any support I can get, because I'm not garnering campaign funds. I don't want people's money. What I'm asking for is their vote. I think big money is a big problem in American politics. I think the two-party system is a big problem. That's why I'm running on a libertarian ticket, because the two-party system has taken everything from the American people. It has taken everything from the American people, and all they've gotten in exchange is more problems, more headaches, more taxes, crisis after crisis after crisis, more poverty, and more wars, and less freedom. Why would we trust the levers of power to someone who didn't uphold the outcome of the last election? Like, why put you in a position where you could now control that dynamic? Why are we trusting the levers of power in the hands of people that have got us into endless wars based on lies? In the hands of people that have moved our public tax dollars into the private hands of less than 1% of the population? Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. People can trust me because there are no strings on me. I don't want their money, I want their support. I don't care whether or not the deep state likes what it is that I'm suggesting, because what it is that I'm suggesting is going to be antithetical to their corrupt system. That's why people should trust me, because I'm not the status quo. Okay, I appreciate your being here. Thank you. Social media reaction.